Hare Krishna, and welcome to the Bhagavad-gita lecture. Today we are continuing with chapter 8, which is called Attaining the Supreme, and it's verse number 22. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So let me share the screen so that you can follow here. Jai. So Lord Krishna is continuing to answer Arjuna's questions. And here he's saying, Purusha sa paraparta bhaktya labhyas tvananyaya yasyanta stani bhutani yena sarvamidam tatam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of ISKCON. So Lord Krishna is saying here, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater than all, is attainable by unalloyed devotion. Although he is present in his abode, he is all-pervading and everything is situated within him. Purport. It is here clearly stated that the supreme destination from which there is no return is the abode of Krishna. The Supreme Person, the Brahma Samhita describes this supreme abode as Ananda Shinmaya Rasa, a place where everything is full of spiritual bliss. All the variegatedness manifest there is of the quality of spiritual bliss. Nothing there is material. That variegatedness is expanded as the spiritual expansion of the Supreme Personality of the Supreme Godhead Himself. For the manifestation, there is totally of the spiritual energy as explained in chapter 7. As far as the material world is concerned, although the Lord is always in His supreme abode, He is nonetheless all-pervading by His material energy. So by His spiritual and material energies, He is present everywhere, both in the material and in the spiritual universes. Yasyanta stani means that everything is sustained within Him, within either His spiritual or material energy. The Lord is all-pervading by these two energies. To enter Krishna's supreme abode, or the innumerable Vaikuntha planets, is possible only by bhakti, devotional service, as clearly indicated there here by the word bhaktya. No other process can help one attain that supreme abode. The Vedas, Gopalatapani Upanishad 121, also describe the supreme abode and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ekovasi Sarvaga Gaha Krishnaha. In that abode, there is only one Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose name is Krishna. He is the Supreme Merciful Deity, and although situated there as one, He has expanded Himself into millions and millions of plenary expansions. The Vedas compare the Lord to a tree standing still, yet bearing many varieties of fruits, flowers, and changing leaves. The plenary expansions of the Lord, who preside over the Vaikuntha planets, are four-armed, and they are known by a variety of names like Purushottama, Trivikrama, Keshava, Madhava, Aniruddha, Hrishikesha, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Shridhar, Vasudeva, Damodar, Janardana, Narayana, Vamana, Padmanabha, etc. The Brahma Samhita 537 also confirms that although the Lord is always in the supreme abode Goloka Vrindavan, He is all-pervading, so that everything is going on nicely. Goloka eva nivasatya satyakilatma bhutaha. As stated in the Vedas, Svetashvatara Upanishad 6.8, Parasya Shaktir Vividhaiva Shruyate Svabhaviki Jnana Bala Kriyascha. His energies are so expansive that they systematically conduct everything in the cosmic manifestation without a flaw, although the Supreme Lord is far, far away. So that was a little bit technical, purport by Srila Prabhupada. So now let's go back to the verse again, and then we can break down for a better understanding and explain piece by piece. But first, before that, I will chant some mantras which will attract auspiciousness. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All right, so let's go back. Translation. So Krishna is saying the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater than all, is attainable by unalloyed devotion. So in a few places in the Bhagavad-gita, Lord Krishna is explaining that the only way actually to know God is actually by serving him. And especially he's here saying unalloyed devotion. So of course people can serve God for different reasons. Like he's explaining in the 7th chapter that they are like the pious people who surrender to him, but they come because they have some self-interest. So everything in the material world, because we are in the part of the creation where all the envious, self-centered, egotistic people, souls are placed. So that's why when we start something religious, it's either because, when we start to approach the Supreme Lord, it's either because we are suffering or we want some money, we are in need of, some facilities, or we are just curious, we want to know what is this universe. But then there are a small portion of people who are actually interested to ask questions about, existential questions about the Supreme. So we have these four, but what they have in common is that they are actually pious people. And then we have the four categories which are not interested in surrendering to the Lord. Like, those who are straightforward atheists, for instance, or we have those who are very intellectual, like, scientifically minded or academically minded, but they are just envious of the Supreme. So they are more like they want to enjoy, how can I say, mental speculation, but they are not really looking for an answer. So they are using their intelligence to just, speculate, not really to come to the answer, not to come to the point, because then the fun is over. And then we have those who work very hard for, for the money, for maintenance and so on, and they are just not interested in God. They just want to, have their salary and that's it. And yeah, there is the fourth one. Okay, I forgot the fourth. But then you have also another category, which are the impersonalists. They don't surrender. They may surrender when they come to understand that the super soul is Krishna, when they come to that understanding. So we have different categories. But here, Krishna is actually speaking about the pure devotion. It means the heart has become cleansed. And now, since the heart is cleansed from all these different interests and different shades and grades of atheism, or you can say envy, or you can also call it egotism, self-centeredness, a willingness to be independent from God. So they are like different aspects of the same rebellious, the soul's rebelliousness towards surrendering to God, which is can also be called just the false ego. So But here, Krishna is talking about those whose heart has been so much purified that when they serve Krishna, it's not because they want something back, but it's because they love him. So it's a pure love. Their love has become purified through their service from many lifetimes even. But an interesting point also here in this translation of Krishna, what Krishna is saying, that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater than all. So Krishna himself, God himself, is saying that he is greater than all. So nobody can come and say, no, but Shiva is greater, or Ganesh is greater, or Lord Brahma is greater, the demigods are greater, or that they are all on the same level. No, it's not like that. Krishna in the Bhagavad-gita, he's saying, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is greater than all. So that's his statement. Otherwise, if we start speculating and saying, oh, this is not true, and so then the whole Bhagavad Gita will fall into a category of just some mental speculation. But it's actually not a mental speculation. This is a revealed knowledge which has been spoken by the Supreme Lord himself in the Kurukshetra, in the holy place of Kurukshetra, around 5,200, 300 years ago, and in India. It's not so far away from New Delhi, and it's still a holy place. One can go there and visit that place. There is a museum and visit that place where the big battle happened, and also where Lord Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna before the war itself. So let's see here. Yeah, so Purusha, the Supreme Personality, Sahi, Para, the Supreme. Okay, so God is greater than all. So that is stated because many people think that Hinduism is polytheism, but it's actually it's a theistic. Theistic means that one believes in one God, the highest God. And so then, okay, but what about all the demigods? What is their role? Their role is actually to be servants in the universe. They are taking care of the affairs of the universe for Krishna. So they are serving Lord Vishnu or Krishna in the universe so that everything can run smoothly, so that everyone can get their karma, good or bad. So these things are handled by the demigods. So when they are serving God, so then they also become purified, and they also can become unalloyed devotees, like pure devotees. But generally speaking, demigods are considered to be on the neophyte Vaishnava level. So there are three levels of being a devotee of God. The first one is neophyte, being a materialistic devotee, meaning we still have some material desires, which we want to exchange, exchange our devotional service for getting some material facilities. So in the heavenly planets, there are many good, nice facilities for the demigods. And then higher than that, we have the Madhyama Adhikari. So the Kanishta Adhikari is the first level, which is actually quite elevated level. And then we have Madhyama Adhikari. So he has come to the level of Nishta, where he's now fixed in his devotional service. He's not going to fall down. And then we have, and he's also a preacher. And then we have the Uttama Adhikari, who is on the highest level. So the Kanishta, the neophyte, he considers himself to be more elevated, more advanced than everyone else. While the one who is actually advanced, he's so humble that he considers himself to be the lowest of all. Like he really thinks, and it's not like a joke, but he's so humble. He really thinks that everyone else is serving Krishna except me. But at the same time, the Uttama Adhikari, if he wants to preach, he goes down to the middle platform as the Madhyama Adhikari, so that he can also preach. And but otherwise, if he doesn't go down to that level, it's not that he falls down, but he has to. when you preach, you have to be able to discriminate between different people, and so that you can say the right thing, which on which level they are, so that they can accept it on their level. And also you have to discriminate between the atheistic people. Those people you don't preach to, because they just commit more offenses, and then they degrade themselves even more. So those people you leave alone, and then you have the biggest group, which is the innocent people. They can be influenced by the godly devotees or the atheistics. And so the innocents are more the target audience for the preacher, and then the preacher also respects very much the spiritual master, because like in the Bhagavad-gita 4:34, Krishna is saying that, in order to get this knowledge, you have to surrender to a spiritual master, who is, of course, he has to be a real guru, who has seen the truth. And if you humbly serve the guru, and you also humbly ask some questions, then the self-realized soul will impart this knowledge to you. And then in the next verse, the result of that, when you have served the guru nicely, so then the illusion of the material existence will be removed, and you will also become a self-realized soul and understand that everybody are actually servants of Krishna, part and parcels of the Supreme Lord, that everyone is a soul and not the body. So there will be, this respect. Trinadapi sunishana tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. So that's Lord Chaitanya. He said this verse, he wrote this verse. One should be more humble than the grass on the street, and one should show respect to everybody and not expect respect to oneself. And one should be more tolerant than a tree. And when one has been able to develop these qualities, one can always chant the holy name of the Lord. So then the mind will always be chanting automatically. So one will always be, with Krishna. So those are some steps in the Bhakti Yoga process, which I have explained. So let's see here. Okay, so the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater than all, is attainable by unalloyed devotion. So then next sentence, Krishna says, although he is present in his abode, he is all-pervading, and everything is situated within him. So although Krishna is in the spiritual world, he's like really far away from the material world. And there he is having his pastimes with those souls who are surrendered to him, and who willingly has surrendered to him, and who loves him more than anything else. So then the pastimes are going on, this transcendental pastimes are going on in his spiritual abode. But at the same time, he is expanding himself, because as the supreme male, and everyone else is female, everyone else is Shakti, energy. So as the energetic, the source of all energy, or the Lord, he has to reciprocate with each and every one. It's like a parent has to reciprocate with each child, and each child will be different in personality, and there will be a different relationship between the parent and all the different children. So that's like, you could say, that's a reflection of the Lord, because parents also expands themselves, not in the same way, but they do expand themselves by having children. And so then the children are actually in the male position, or the position of the predominator, and the children are in the position of being dependent. So our position, all the souls' position, is actually to be dependent of the Supreme Lord, and there is only one, because here is said he is greater than all. So the reason why he expands is so that he can reciprocate with each and every soul in the entire cosmic, in the entire creation, actually, not only this universe, but outside of the universe. So that's why he expands himself to reciprocate with each and every one. He's also in the heart, in the material world, when we come to the material world. So then he also expands as Kshirodakashaya Vishnu, and he's actually with us in the heart. With every living entity, he's there. So he comes with us, birth after birth. He's just sitting there waiting for us to become active and start to pray. And the moment we start to pray, then he become active because he's the gentleman. A man doesn't, force himself. He's a gentleman, so he's waiting for the female or the Shakti to take that step. Please, God, help me to come to that humble, how do you say, this humble situation where one understands, one finally come to the transcendental realized knowledge that I need superior help. And then you start to pray, and then you will be guided by the super soul. So that's what it means that he's all pervading. So he's expanding, but he also expands into this, to the heart. He's also in between every atom. And at the same time, everything is situated within him. So the Supreme Lord, he has three aspects. One of them is Brahman. So then Brahman is like that which is just receiving everything. So everything is laying in the impersonal Brahman. Okay, so let's see if there are any questions. Not so far. Okay, purport by Srila Prabhupada. It is here clearly stated that the supreme destination from which there is no return is the abode of Krishna, the Supreme Person. Yeah, so I think Krishna, he was speaking about, let me see in the previous verse. Then the previous verse, 8:21. That which the Vedantists describe as unmanifest and infallible, that which is known as the supreme destination, that place from which, having attained it, one never returns. That is my supreme abode. So then Prabhupada is saying, it's clearly stated that the supreme destination from which there is no return is the abode of Krishna, the Supreme Person. So why is it like if once you get there, you never come back? Is because you have realized that it's wrong to be in the material world. It's wrong to be all the time taking birth and dying, taking birth and dying. And you're like ripped apart all the time. Your heart is being crushed so many times during your lifetime because you're dealing with other people who are as selfish and envious as yourself. And so because everybody here is in the material world is envious, so there can't be real relationships as long as people are not on the high level of consciousness. You can't really have a real relationship because they will instinctively act upon saving their own skin first. So and that will, just very few people who are on a higher level of consciousness who don't care about losing everything for saving a relationship. So that is real love. And that is also the test which everyone has to go through. Because Krishna wants to see, okay, like, are you going to be selfish in the spiritual world if I let you into my pastimes, divine pastimes? Are you going to be selfish at one point? So that will like disrupt the whole the whole harmony there. So then until we come to such high levels of surrender to the Guru and Krishna, so then there will actually not be any entrance there in Goloka Vrindavan, but one can continue one's purification next life in Gokul. Gokul Vrindavan is here on earth. same abode of Krishna, but just on earth. Yeah, so the abode of Krishna, it's transcendental. It's not different from Krishna, the Supreme Person. And then Lord Brahma, who is like the secondary creator of the universe, meaning Krishna first, he provides all the ingredients, but nothing is manifested. But then Brahma is born from the lotus, from the navel of uh, Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. So he's born as the first person there. Of course, some sages and like the demigods are also there still, but Brahma is the one who is going to create the rest. So the Brahma Samhita describes the supreme abode of as so Lord Brahma is describing it. The God's kingdom, you could say, the supreme abode, as Ananda Shinmaya Rasa, a place where everything is full of spiritual bliss. So Ananda means bliss, spiritual bliss. And the rasa means, relationships, the taste of the spiritual relationships. And all the variegatedness manifest there is of the quality of spiritual bliss. Nothing there is material. What is, we could ask the question, so how do you define material? Material itself it's an energy of Krishna. And but material can also be defined as that which is covering the spirit, that which covers the soul and what is it covered with? It's covered with material desires. So when we let go of the material desires and we exchange them for spiritual desires, desire to please the Lord, and not our own senses, but the Lord's senses. So then, even here on earth, we can still be, in Krishna's abode, in Krishna's company. So in the spiritual world, nothing is material because nobody is actually selfish in that way. Nobody is in Maya or under the spell of the material consciousness. So the interesting thing here is variegatedness. That word is very interesting because there are philosophers or philosophies in the Vedic scriptures which say that, but they are still conditioned by material intelligence because material intelligence is thinking in dualities. Okay, so since the material world is full of variety, it means that the spiritual world doesn't have any variety. So then that's the material intelligence. So it's actually not revealed knowledge. It's speculative knowledge. And that far we can go with our material intelligence, but we can't speculate how it is in the kingdom of God unless that has been revealed in this, as it is here in the revealed scriptures. So the variegatedness in the material world is caused by the three gunas, three qualities in the material world, which is ignorance, passion, and goodness. So everything is, a mixture of these three modes. It's like, also everything is like that. The day is divided into these three modes. Tamagun is okay when you are in the night, you're sleepy. Rajagun, which means passion. So from 10 to 10 during the day, you're like passionate and working for the money. And then in the morning, early morning hours, and also in the evening, nice, everything is like, and also in the middle of the day, everything goes down. So that's those 3 points during the day are Sattva Guna, or the mode of goodness, where you can sit down and meditate on the Lord. And, that's the best peaceful hours for meditation. And so the food is also divided into these three qualities. Like there is food which is tamasic, which is like in the mode of ignorance, which will cause diseases. It's food which doesn't have any taste, or dead meat and things like that. And then food in passion is like blood and too much sour, too much salty, too much hot, will also give diseases. And then you have food in the mode of goodness, which is going to enlarge your lifetime. I mean, you will live longer, like vegetarian food and milk products and so on, and vegetables and so on. So everything is divided, even different types of, faiths, like religions. I mean, everything, even the colors, like black, like not black, but purple. You have no blue. You have blue, mode of goodness, red, mode of passion, yellow, mode of no, blue is mode of ignorance, red, mode of passion, and yellow, mode of goodness. And then when you mix those, then you get all the other colors. So when you mix these three gunas, when they are mixed, then all the variegatedness in the material world is manifested. And even every person who has a material body, they have like a special mixture, proportions of these gunas. So that's why we all look different. And we are different. Some people are more calm, some people are more easily agitated, and some people are like working hard workers and always very, very active, and others are like always, how do you say it? They don't have so much energy, they don't like to do anything. So we have these three people, um, three different, actually, it's four natures, which Krishna is describing in the fourth chapter. And the intellectuals, or in the mode of goodness, the brahmanas, the kshatriyas, or the protectors of the society, and the values, the noble values from the holy scriptures. They are the protectors, and then administrators also. And so they are in a mixture of mode of passion and goodness. And then you have the producers, those who are producing different things, businessmen and farmers, bankers. And so they are in a mixture between the mode of goodness and, no, sorry, mode of passion and ignorance. And then you have the workers who are in the mode of ignorance. So there are four natures. So and then one works according to that. One will, work in different occupations because of those mixtures. But that's the body and the mind and the intelligence which we got from our previous karma. So that, so much variegatedness is created in the material world. But actually, the variegatedness is a reflection of what's going on in the spiritual world, because there is also variegatedness, but it's not a variety which comes from the three material modes, but it's actually comes from Krishna's. It's called Svarup Shakti. So that's why in the spiritual world, you have the samvit, which is like the cognitive existence, and Sandini potency, the samvit potency. And then you have, so the Sandini potency is Lord Balaram, which is like all the facilities which you need to serve the Lord, like, furnitures, or, the spiritual planets, all of those things. And the samvit potency is the potency which you need to understand God and your relationship with God. So the cognitive aspect, potency. And then you have Hladini Shakti, which is Radharani herself. Like when we chant Hare Krishna, so Hare is Radharani, so she's the Hladini potency. So she is the potency which gives pleasure to the Lord. She's like, you could say, the love of Godhead personified. And yeah, so thanks to Radharani, when we connect to her and serve her and Krishna, so then we will also feel that Ananda. And thanks to the samvit potency, we will understand our relationship with God, and which is actually also represented by Balaram, and like the guru. He's the first guru. Yeah, so Balaram is also the Sandini potency, which he is also serving Krishna, although he is Krishna, but he's like servitor Godhead. So everybody is serving Krishna in this great, fantastic harmony, which is there in the spiritual world, because everybody is surrendered. So then everything is in harmony. Okay, so I explained about the variegatedness in the material world is created by the three modes of the material nature: passion, ignorance, and goodness. And that's a reflection of Krishna's Swarup Shakti in the spiritual world, which creates the variegatedness in the form of, Samvit, Sandini, and Hladini. So one can also say that those three potencies are Satchidananda. Satchidananda means that the substance itself, of which everything in the spiritual world is created. So even the soul is created of that substance. So Sat means eternity. So that's why the soul doesn't die. And Chit is the knowledge, and Ananda is the happiness. So in the material world, we are dreaming, we are under illusion, we are hallucinating. And somewhere deep, deep, deep down, we are all the time searching for our true existence. But we are searching in the wrong place. So we are searching for something which will be everlasting love, for instance, or to be immortal, to never die, because the soul never dies. So somehow we understand that we never die. And so we are looking for that eternity. But we are also looking for the knowledge. Knowledge is very, very important, because without knowledge, we can't even earn our livelihood. So knowledge is important for maintaining oneself. And then we are also looking for, knowledge is also power, of course. And then we are looking for happiness. So those three, this Krishna Swarup Shakti, those three Satchidananda, are actually, that's what we are ultimately. That's our ultimate inner ego, our inner nature. But unfortunately covered by the false ego, like this material body, and then we think, oh, I am this body and I will die. No, we don't die. As little as your car will one day die. Your car will never die. It's always dead. So your material body will never die. It is always dead. So what is death? Death is just a separation between that which lives, the soul, and that which is dead, material energy. So that is death, but the soul never dies. So these things are revealed here in the Bhagavad-gita. So Krishna he's very, very kind. He's expressing his heart, and the Bhagavad-gita is the heart of Krishna. He knows that if someone studies and understands the Bhagavad-gita, then that person will ultimately go back to Godhead. So he reveals everything, but it's up to us to take it seriously, to start chanting Hare Krishna mantra, to start serving the Lord and surrendering to the Lord, using our nature in the service of the Lord. When we go to work, we can be conscious of that we always depend on the Lord for everything, to be the depending, or, ask Him for guidance to do your job better. So somehow connect what we do in our daily life, somehow connect that with Krishna consciousness, to be conscious that God is there, just next, right there in the heart. So then that will lead to self-realization, spiritual self-realization and realization of God, as it is stated here in this verse, where Krishna is saying that the Supreme Lord is attainable by unalloyed devotion. Although he's very far away in his personal abode, he is all-pervading. He's here, right here with us right now, and everything is situated within him. So it's absurd and ridiculous thought that to state that God doesn't exist. That is just one is just showing one's profound ignorance, because God is everywhere. His energies are everywhere. We can't escape him. But he can help us to forget our relationship, and then even for that, we need his help. So that's how much we are dependent. And that's how much he is actually the controller and enjoyer. But since we are envious of that, so then that's why we are in the material world, trapped by our own material desires and illusions about how great we are. Okay, so let's continue. Let's see here. Okay, let's continue. So then Prabhupada is continuing after explaining the spiritual and material, the spiritual variegatedness. Then he says that as far as this material world is concerned, although the Lord is always in his supreme abode, he's nonetheless all-pervading by his material energy. Yeah, so in the material world, he's not different from his creation. So when we admire, when we see the sunset, we see the moonlight, we see the lakes, the forests, so many beautiful things on this earth planet, which are so fascinating. So when we look at that, is why is it beautiful? Why do people become so happy when the sun is out? Why does everything look so beautiful when the sun is out? Because it represents Krishna. And why is the material world so beautiful? Because it is non-different from Krishna, actually. So it's actually not the material world or the sun or this, material planet, but it's the potency which is reflected there, which is actually Krishna. So that's why Krishna means all attractive. So we feel attraction, the sunset or the moon, the full moon soon the full moon will be the most beautiful. It's actually in autumn time when Krishna is dancing the Rasa Lila with his most intimate surrender devotees, the gopis. So every autumn, can't remember exactly which date it will be, but that full moon is like the most fantastic. So it's not about the moon; it's about Krishna, which the soul is understanding. That here is something, here is some truth, here is some substance. But otherwise, all my life, I'm just running for that, which is, I think I can grab it now, but no, it just disappeared again. So, but the substance which we are looking for is actually the Supreme Lord. So let's continue on this purport. As far as this material world is concerned, although the Lord is always in his supreme abode, he's nonetheless all-pervading by his material energy. So by his spiritual and material energies, he's present everywhere. So that's how he expands, through those energies, both in the material and in the spiritual universes. So it's like some people maybe have never heard that there are spiritual universes, but there are. And also, he said in the Vedas that how many universes are there, material universes are there in the material cosmic manifestation. It's as many small seeds from the mustard. They are very, very tiny, maybe 1 milliliter, millimeter high in diameter. So if you put those in a big sack, so many universes, that amount of universes out there only in the spiritual sky, immaterial sky, in the material cosmic manifestation. And then beyond that is like it's 3 times bigger. So and there are also in the spiritual variegatedness, there are actually also planets where one can personally serve the Lord in different manifestations. But also in the higher planets here in every universe, one can also serve God in his different manifestations. But that's in the higher planets. On the Earth planet, he's more hidden. Then you go to the temple or the church or the mosque. He's a little bit more hidden. But there are actually places in the like very his abodes are actually where he is. You can really feel that God is personally present here, and those are called pilgrimage places. Like in India, we have been in Tirupati, Vrindavan, and Navadvip. And I think those are the 3 holy places we went to with my husband. And one can, or Mathura. So one can actually feel God's presence there. It's just, you don't see, but you definitely are not mistaken that he is present there. Because when all the universes will be eliminated, when the time is over, so then those holy places will remain. They are never destroyed because they are like portals or like non-different from the spiritual world. Represent It's not representing because it is actually all, it's like non-different. So yeah, so then there are these planets which are spiritual and where one can see the Lord, but also on earth one can also see him. On the heavenly planets, the different demigods are serving the Lord. Like the sun god, he's serving. He is the servant of Lord Ramachandra, and Mars, the demigod of Mars, is the servant of Nrsingadev, because Nrsingadev is the Ishtadev in that planet. And then you have Jupiter, that's Vamanadev. Krishna comes in the form of Vamanadev. He is worshipped on Jupiter as Vamanadev. And then you have Mercury. Krishna is worshipped as Buddha. And on Saturn, Krishna is worshipped as Kurma, the turtle incarnation, and so on. And what else do we have? I'm looking at my yantras because, oh yeah, on Venus, Krishna is worshipped by the demigod of Venus, Shukra. Chukra, I think his name is. So he worships Parashuram. So in the different directions, you have the different planets. Like also in your own home, it's like a mini universe where you have actually the different directions in your own home, and you can put the different yantras. Like you see the one which is behind me here. You see Ganga, and then you see also the yantra of Saturn. So Saturn is, that's the direction of Saturn, and creates stability if you put that yantra. So it lowers down too much flickering of the mind or flickering of anything like, jobs or whatever, but this kind of stabilizes the home energy. So it's used for the support of one's spiritual life. These are secondary things, but still a devotee is then always conscious that God is everywhere. He is like in the different planets, in the different directions. And so one can always remember him in the direct and the indirect. So the direct would mean that, in the deity form of Krishna, and you chant Hare Krishna mantra, or you read the scripture. That's the direct. But the indirect is when you go out in the world, and people are not thinking about God or not reminding you about God. So that's the indirect, the work which you do to maintain the body. But we need to become more conscious of God, so of Krishna. So then that's why we should study the scriptures and meditate upon, Krishna's pastimes and so on. So Krishna is all-pervading in his material energy, as I explained, different planets and directions and so on. So by his spiritual and material energies, he's present everywhere, both in material and in the spiritual universes. Yasyantastani means that everything is sustained within him, within either his spiritual or material energy. The Lord is all pervading by these two energies. Yeah, so he's like the sustainer of everything. Everything circulates around him. So now the next paragraph of Prabhupada's purport here, he's saying that to enter Krishna's supreme abode or the innumerable Vaikuntha planets is possible only by bhakti, devotional service, as clearly indicated here by the word bhaktya. So in this verse, it's that word bhaktya is used. So bhakti yoga is the process which starts with a little bit of appreciation for the devotees and for Krishna, and then it grows into that one starts to have association with devotees, and like regularly going to the temple, and then one meets one spiritual master and serves him, takes initiation and serves him. So, and makes one the vows of, all keeping oneself away from sinful activities and always meditate on the Lord's holy name. Like, we meditate at least 2 hours a day, worshipping the deity and so on. So that's the bhakti yoga process. So then slowly, slowly, the heart will become purified from the weeds, the bad qualities which we have cultivated for many, many lifetimes, like envy and selfishness. What else? Hatred, anger, lust, greed, and so on. Illusion, and so many other things. Self-cheating and cheating others, and so on. So that's called anartha nivritti. They are like 4 types of anarthas, and each 4 of those anarthas are like unwanted things, are divided into 4 categories. So they are like 16 anarthas. And then, but if one just serves and serves and serves the Lord, it doesn't matter how many times you fall down, but you just continue. So then at one point, your heart will be that much purified that, you serve the Lord through the spiritual master's instructions, of course. And then one comes to that stable ground where you don't fall anymore, because now you're nishta. Nishta means it's like stability, fixed. You're finally been able to fix yourself on God. And then ruchi. Ruchi means that you have so much taste for serving the Lord. So that's one step higher, and then even higher than that comes Krishna Shakti, that you are like so attached to Krishna. So now no longer you are attached to sex life or whatever it may be, drinking alcohol or eating meat or so. So you're just attached to Krishna, and then comes Bhava, which is like almost the love of Godhead is almost mature, and then some anarthas or offenses are still there on that level, which has to be cleansed away, and then ultimately Krishna Prema, which means the mature fruit of love of Godhead. So that's the bhakti yoga process. So how can one, serve God? It's revealed in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Rupa Goswami that one can serve God in different ways. You can serve him by hearing about him, like now, this is actually bhakti. One is performing bhakti by hearing about the Supreme. And then by glorifying. So I'm glorifying, so I'm doing that service right now. And then remembering him. So after hearing, glorifying, one remembers the Lord. That's also bhakti yoga. And then worshipping his lotus feet, worshipping his transcendental form, deity form, and then surrendering completely unto him, becoming his friend. And there's one more, which I think I forgot. Prayers, of course, prayers. We can see in all the how do you say, theistic religions, you can see, or faiths, you can see that the prayer is very important. So that's actually bhakti, but it depends, like, what are you praying? Like, oh God, give me this, give me that. That's bhakti, which is mixed with material desire. So it's called karma mishra bhakti or bhakti mishra karma. Depends on one's intentions. But then you have the pure prayer, like the Hare Krishna mantra, where one is praying, oh my dear Radharani and Krishna, please engage me in your service. So there one is not asking for anything more than, please engage me, I just want to serve you. So this is the pure bhakti which Krishna is talking about here in this verse. That pure bhakti will bring us to the back home, back to Godhead. But it's a process, so it's not that, oh, it's so far, so then I give up. No. Anyways, you're going to live forever, so what do you want to do with your, existence? And just be like a ping pong ball, like a leaf in the wind, being taken here and there, or do you want to take control of your life and say, okay, this is the destination I want to have? So the intelligent person surrenders to the Lord because that's the best option for them. So no other process can help one attain that supreme abode. The Vedas, Gopalatapani Upanishad 121, also describe the supreme abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It means Ekovasi Sarvaga Krishna. In that abode, there is only one Supreme Personality of Godhead. His name is Krishna. He is the supreme merciful deity, and although situated there, as he has expanded himself into millions and millions of plenary expansions. The Vedas compare the Lord to a tree standing still, yet bearing many varieties of fruits, flowers, and changing leaves. Yeah, so he's like, the tree. I don't know if you have seen this avatar. So I would say that tree in the middle of the big forest, that's, a representation of Krishna, because the whole forest was dependent on that tree and the roots and everything which was going under. So that tree was like giving the nurturing for everything. So in the same way, Krishna is like a tree who is, just expanding throughout the whole existence, material and spiritual existence. But he's the tree. He stands in Goloka Vrindavan. From there, he doesn't move, but at the same time, he's moving in another way, so that he can reach out to everybody. And then the plenary expansions of the Lord, who preside over the Vaikuntha planets, are four-armed. So Vaikuntha planets are the spiritual planets, and then Krishna has four arms, like Vishnu. When Krishna has two arms, he's called Krishna. When he has four arms, he's called Vishnu. And then Vishnu has four different things in each hand. The conch shell, the chakra to kill the enemies, the conch shell to give blessings to the devotees, the lotus flower to bless the devotees, and the mace to kill the demons. But he has different names depending on where he has these different weapons or things to bless the devotees with. So then he has different names like Purushottama, Trivikrama, Keshava, Madhava, Aniruddha, Rishikesha, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Sridhar, Vasudeva, Damodar, Janardhan, Narayan, Vamana, Padmabhaya, and so on. So that's And like, in which planet do we go to? Because it depends, like which how do you say, which form of the Lord we are the most attracted to. That's the one which we will serve in the spiritual world. But that will be revealed by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. It's like not by imagination, but by revelation. So one just need to follow the process properly, and then it will actually work. And then the last paragraph, Prabhupada is saying here that the Brahma Samhita also confirms that although the Lord is always in the supreme abode Goloka Vrindavan, he is all pervading so that everything is going on nicely, as stated in the Vedas in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad. His energies are so expansive that they systematically conduct everything in the cosmic manifestation without a flaw, although the Supreme Lord is far, far away. So he's near, like Ishopanishad said, he's very far away, but he's also here. So this is like the inconceivable energy of the Lord, the Ashintya Shakti, that we can't really understand how it happens. But I think with the help of analogies and also by, some purification, we can ultimately come to that understanding. So that's the end of this lecture. And then next Sunday, we will speak about from the verse 8:23, where Krishna says, O best of the Bharatas, I shall now explain to you the different times at which, passing away from this world, the yogi does or does not come back. So remember that this 8th chapter is about how to go back home, back to Godhead, how to go back to Krishna, attaining the Supreme. So he's revealing all this very, important information in this chapter here. So, but that's for the coming lectures. Krishna is going to speak about when one should leave and when one should not leave, like die. Because if you die at a certain point, you have to take rebirth, and if you die at another point, you can, obtain liberation, spiritual liberation through bhakti or moksha. Jai. So no questions today, but I thank you very much for attending, and let's meet again next Sunday. Jai. All glories to the Bhagavad-gita, all glories to Sri Krishna, and all glories to the Hare Krishna mantra, and all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga and Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Jai.